Welcome to the Tuesday Tea. My name's Maddie.
Hi, I'm Carly.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody? Best day of the week. Today, we're going to be talking about what your hometown is known for. And these stories are crazy.
I was giggling like a schoolgirl.
I know. I feel like we're kind of true crime for a second.
Oh, this is not a Halloween episode, but you might think it is.
I honestly kind of love
Me too.
true crime.
Me too. I fear we found our calling. Honestly, that's what we were so focused on for the first, weren't we talking about it a lot when we first started murder and stuff?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, crime stuff happening.
Yeah, you're right.
And we really covered it well, I fear.
I fear we did.
We're good crime reporters.
Yeah, I think we need to. Well, no, we're not. We see one thing on TikTok and we're like, oh, did you see?
Yeah. But we just have to, we're really good at informing the public of what's going on in today's world.
Exactly.
Or past world.
We're just girls.
We're just girls.
So before we get into those stories, though, we have some updates. Carly just got back from Canada. Woohoo!
She's home.
You went
Finally.
for a week with your family.
I went for a week with my family.
Tell us about it.
Oh, we're jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a little itinerary and walkthrough of the vacation. So to start, something I implemented mandatorily, I don't think that's a word, but it's big.
It can be today.
It is a word today. Is because I just felt like life is so short. I really wanted to see my family more than just 1 or 2 days on Christmas, and time would just go by. And I was like, you know what? We need to literally implement something so it's not just time is passing by and we're not seeing each other and putting in effort to make plans. So I asked them if they would be open to doing basically this competition of vacations.
Yeah.
And what we do every year and a half is we all do a presentation for a trip, and we look at dates, we look at flight prices, we look at hotels, we look at rental cars, activities, nature things, whatever. You can literally do whatever you want. You can do France, whatever. So a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, we did Portugal, the island off of Portugal.
Wait, you have to tell them how you decide, though. Everyone picks it out and does a PowerPoint and then presents it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So you can do whatever kind of presentation you want. So the first time we did this, my dad showed up to the Zoom call in fishing gear and just talked about it with his fishing pole and his fishing hat and net and stuff. And it was very sweet, but then he had a Word document to go over. And then my brother did a PowerPoint, I did a PowerPoint. I think everyone else actually did a PowerPoint as well. So there was Hawaii, the fishing trip, a houseboat, Azores, which is the island of Portugal, and then I did Thailand, please. Lost.
A little aggressive.
Yeah. For everyone else who doesn't have much time off, I was I have flexible vacation time, so I can go for however long. No. Then my dad made this voting system where you basically have to rank every single presentation, high to low. And then my dad will analyze all those numbers and then put together the winner, basically. And so Luke won a year and a half, 2 years ago. We did the island off of Portugal. And then maybe back in August, we did votes again and presentations again. And I won.
Yay!
Which is crazy. But to be fair, my budget was a little off. But that's okay. I think I said for the whole road trip across Canada, it would be $600 a person for everything.
Wow. Flights too?
Including flights.
That's crazy. How did you get that number?
And hopefully they didn't vote because of that. But I don't know how I got them. Well, I looked up flights, I looked up rental car, I looked up hotels, and I was like, meh. Yeah, it was a little off. But actually I wasn't too far off.
Really?
No, I was probably at $800 a person.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. But I won, and it was so much fun. I had the time of my life planning this trip. I'm just an expert trip planner. And I'm not saying I'm good at it. When I say expert, I mean I live for it.
You just love doing it.
The logistics, the research, the bookings. I think what I'm struggling with is once the execution comes around and we're ready to go, I hope people like it and appreciate it and are grateful for it, for the plans, because I'm always hey, if you guys want to help plan this, please, I want input. I know I'm very type A, but I would love to hear what you want to do. And then I'll get suggestions or recommendations, which is wonderful, and make sure I prioritize those and hear those. But then I think because I'm I know I can lock things down, get things solidified, I want to make sure people like it.
Yeah.
And aren't burdened by the fact that we have a plan every single day.
Yeah.
So I really did book out our schedule this time, but it was more like experiences and dining.
Yeah.
And just got to enjoy like really good food, really good experiences, but most of all, like the most stunning, breathtaking views across Canada.
Canada is so beautiful. I went there last summer. I went to Banff, and it was honestly one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's literally unreal. And I'll just do a quick walkthrough of what we did. So we all flew into Vancouver, and then we rented 2 cars. We had another like plane coming a little bit later, so half of us took one car and the other half took the other car. And then we drove to Whistler. It was like an hour and a half drive. And then we had dinner at Whistler and the bison carpaccio. Have you ever had something like that before?
No, what is that?
Bison
it's a food?
Carpaccio. It's an appetizer. So it was at this place called Brickworks. It's very, very, very thinly sliced meat. Kind of like deli meat, but it's bison. Hello? And then they drizzle. I don't know what it was, but it was so freaking good. And we ate like royalty. The artichokes? Wait, what's it called?
Yeah, artichoke hearts.
Yeah. Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
Good grief. I couldn't get it. Oh my gosh. It was so good. But bison carpaccio on your wish list for your next meal, Maddie.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I don't think I've ever had bison before.
It was delicious. It was like ham, but better.
Oh. Who would have thought?
I know. So then this stunning dining on this golf course that we first of all found bear poop on. The walk you have
You're
to.
kidding.
Oh my gosh, that was a way to start the trip.
Terrifying.
Huge, fresh. I thought it was fresh bear poop.
How do you know what bear poop looks like?
I don't know. It was just a lot of black poop, and I was like, surely it could be any animal, and everyone in my family is like, bear.
Well, your brothers hunt and stuff, so they probably know.
Yeah, they're like confidently. I'm like, it could be anywhere. It could just be laying 6 feet from us right now.
Yeah.
But before that trauma, we had insane breakfast, and it was like, oh my gosh, we were on hole 19, which is why it's called table 19, and we got to literally cheer as people golfed, and some people shanked it. It was so fun and funny. The most stunning views I've ever seen. People like live on the golf course. It was stunning. So then we walked to like where my brother is starting his first fish of the trip, and it's just so picturesque. And like little do we know it's only going to get better from there. So then we do the gondola at Whistler, and certainly afraid, but this is where I saw my first bear ever. I've never seen a bear in my life, even living in Alaska.
Oh my gosh.
It was a mom and 2 baby cubs, black bear. Oh my gosh, they were just frolicking through the field as we were going up in the gondola.
Oh my gosh, how cute. That's fun being able to see them while you're like safe and
like
far
you can't
away.
touch me.
Yeah.
How cute are you guys? I actually really did not want to go on the gondola, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Certainly did not.
I'm proud of you for facing your fears.
Thank you.
Exposure therapy.
Thank you. I did decide to get off at there was like a very, very high, I sound dramatic, but it's true. A very, very high mark you can get off and do a bar.
Yeah.
Like a hangout cocktail. Me and my mom stopped there, and then you could go even higher on a chairlift and not a gondola to go on this bridge with like nothing beneath you on the bridge.
Yeah.
My brother, his wife, and my dad did that. And my other sister-in-law decided to do that. My other brother continued to fish down below on land. And we stayed back and we had cocktails and it was wonderful. But then we did a peak-to-peak gondola where we literally go peak to peak.
Wow.
After we got to the top. And I'm like, surely there's no reason to do the peak to peak.
Yeah.
We're literally subjecting ourselves to death here. There's literally no point.
You're like, this view right here is fine.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're leaving. Please come. I'm like, no. Of course it stopped. Ugh. Unreal. But it's fine. Okay, so that was Whistler. It was like an Olympic village. It was kind of like Vail, like a little bit elevated Vail. I FaceTimed you at the top of the mountain at that bar.
So
it was
pretty.
Like 360-degree views. It was beautiful. We do need to go back to ski because summer, obviously no skiing, but a lot of mountain biking. Okay, cruising right along. I could talk about this forever. Then we did a 6-hour drive to Kelowna. Okay?
Wow.
6 hours, 2 cars. Somehow when we were on our drive, my dad spotted a black bear and 2 cubs.
Oh my gosh.
On this mountaintop, like a bit away. And we got the binoculars out. We stopped on the side of the road, got the binoculars out. I kid you not, the cubs were the size of Frankie. Because they were climbing a tree and on a branch.
Aww.
And the branch was not that big, and it was humongous compared to the cubs.
Aww.
It was the cutest thing. It was the cutest thing.
Bears are so cute.
In theory, perfect pets.
Like, I saw this TikTok, and it was like zooming in on bear ears because they're just like the two little balls on the top of their head, and the whole thing was like, you're telling me that this could kill me? Yeah. Like, there's no way.
No way.
They're just so cute.
I would be curious. Black bears are nicer than grizzly bears. I'd be curious if you raised a black bear in your house, like you kidnapped the cub from birth and you raised it in your house. Would you actually die?
Yes, I think you would.
Lion, I could see it. But bear?
Yes, I think you would die. If you feed it.
Well, I surely couldn't have a dog, but.
Yeah, no, I think it would kill you.
You think?
Sure. Yeah.
They're so cute.
I know they are.
Okay, so we get to Kelowna. Kelowna is halfway between Vancouver and Banff. So that was our second stop. When I tell you the Airbnb we picked, overlooking the water, I felt like I was in a movie, like a rom-com, and I was just waiting for my love story to start. It didn't, but
it didn't.
Spoiler. It was yeah, spoiler. It was stunning, and it was actually really cool. It was kind of like the dream of a compound we always talk about with like Airbnb, but also family. It was like I'm talking so fast. The owners of the unit, they built this whole compound. They were on the right side. Then the Airbnb had like a 4-bedroom house in the middle. And then on the left side were the in-laws.
Oh my gosh.
You each had your own lawn, and like we had a pool. You all go down to like the dock and there's a sauna. Like it was dreamy.
Did you talk to them?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was
Were they nice?
So nice. I'm like, this is just so ideal for like childcare and like hanging out, but also helping with the Airbnb with the guests.
Yeah.
Like you're obviously very close to your in-laws, but like how wonderful.
No, that's actually so ideal.
So ideal. They literally, you could tell they built the Airbnb for like their house and the Airbnb. Yeah. It was, and I think he built it, the guy.
Oh my gosh.
It was just so cool. So that was wonderful. We had the time of our life. It was like a very small town. Like it wasn't that popular. It's not like a destination spot, but I think that's what made it like all the better. Yeah. So we started our second day there going to this winery called Tantalus Winery. And when I tell you, we got a tasting of 9 wines.
That'll do it.
That'll get ya. That will get ya. It was so good. And we did like a history tour of like the vines and the vineyard and like the grapes, and just they're so smart. Yeah. I'm like, how do you retain all of this? He wasn't reading off of
sommeliers are so cool.
We were toasted. It was so good. And it was just a wee little bit, but it was so delicious. We bought a few bottles, and I want to get some because the first one we had was a sparkling wine, and I think I could drink it for the rest of my life.
Really?
It's called Tantalus Winery, and I don't remember what the first one was called, but we bought 3 bottles of one, and it was like the rosé. I'm not a big rosé drinker. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then we went to dinner at Earl's, and it was like the most picturesque. Again, it was like Summer I Turned Pretty vibes, where like you are overlooking the harbor and the sun is setting. Yeah. And we were watching game 5 of a hockey game. It just felt so surreal. And I think I struggled being like fully present on this trip because there was so much going on from like coming off of work and so much work needing to be done, but I was like, I'm out of office, and I've been traveling so much. So I just like, I think those moments where I was at the winery and on the boat the next day and at Earl's, like I could just rest. Yeah. Okay. So then we did a boat day. This boat day in Kelowna, you guys, was wonderful. We were sun chasers though. We were having the time of our life. It was like 78 degrees and sunny. And also Maddie's heard none of this. So this is her first time hearing all of this. And it's almost been 20 minutes of me talking about Canada. I'm not even to Banff. Holy crap, I can talk. Okay, we're going through it. Okay. It's just so fun. Vacation's so fun, you guys. Yeah. Okay. We do this boat and it's sunny. And then as we get like closer to this one island, it starts to get black. And we see the rain coming down. And we turn around and we chase the sun and we got out of it. And it was so wonderful. Wow. We're so impressed with ourselves. It was great. And then we had a nice like dining in at the Airbnb and it was great. Okay. Then we drive to Banff. And our drive to Banff was ungodly how beautiful it was. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's the beautiful part about Canada, specifically Banff. Like even when you're driving from place to place, from hike to hike or whatever, it's like the drive is half the fun.
Unbelievable.
It's so beautiful.
Unbelievable. The moment we got there, like, I mean, even the drive, you're like, this is unreal. I don't need anything more. Like, it was majestic. But the moment we got there, we ended up doing this sunset tour with, they're called Banff Mountain Chauffeurs, and it's this guy named Andrew. He took us to Moraine Lake, which I was so excited about, and Lake Louise. And we also did a wildlife tour where we saw another bear. But we went at sunset, so there was nobody at these lakes.
Yeah.
And that's not normal. And so at Moraine Lake, we brought sushi and wine from the winery that we went to. Oh.
The dream.
Nobody's there. Literally nobody's there.
Really?
It was like maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. Because I think the sun set at 9. It was the most peaceful, like, unbelievable feeling. We talked to some people later, and they said that it's really popular to do sunrise tours.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. But he said there's 200 people there at this one spot at Moraine Lake. And so
Wasn't Moraine Lake amazing?
Oh, I 100% recommend.
Yeah,
Bring sushi, go at 8 o'clock. You do now have to have a commercial license to go. Personal vehicles aren't allowed anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a new rule this year. So that makes it really hard even for locals to go. They can't go unless they know somebody that has
that's sad.
I know. But doing the private tour was honestly so nice because we wouldn't have been able to do that ourselves in Banff if we wanted to. And then we stayed in Canmore, which was this mountain town right outside of Banff. Highly recommend. But we did end up going into Banff the next day just to explore, shop around. And we had appetizers and drinks at this place called Fat Ox. Literally so great. Literally any place you dine, you can see the mountain and see, like, the village of Banff. Like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So good. And then Nourish was our last spot for dinner, and it was so good. It was a vegan and vegetarian restaurant, which, as you know, the Huberts are not. But it's crazy how easy and delicious the meals could freaking be. And we had some wine, some of the best wine we've ever had. I took a picture. I have to order a bottle. That's my trip in summary. That took 20 minutes, but I could talk about it forever. It was so fun, and I fear I have to go back.
If you guys haven't been to Banff, you need to put it on your list.
You need to put it on your
list. Because it is such a great vacation spot. Did you guys go to, like, the downtown Banff?
Yes.
Is that where those restaurants
That's
were?
where those restaurants were. And
fun.
I'm just going to make, like, a little itinerary like you did for Portugal. I'm going to do that for Canada and, like, put it in my stories or something. Because all the spots we went to, like, I don't think you can go wrong anywhere, but I vetted them and they're freaking delicious.
Yeah.
And it's just unreal. The scenery is just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful place. And I love how you guys made that tradition to, like, do the presentations and vote, because it's just such a fun way to, like, travel as a family, and then everyone gets to, like, involve themselves and try and win the competition.
Yes.
And, like, wherever you're going is going to be a dream spot for someone in the family.
Yeah.
So I just love that. I think that's so fun.
We already talked about, like, maybe doing the Dolomites in Italy, because we all just are, like, dying to go to the Dolomites.
What's the Dolomites?
It's this big mountain range north of Italy.
Oh.
Sorry, northern Italy. And
is that like a big ski town?
I don't know if you can ski in the Dolomites. That's a good question. But I think you'd recognize the pictures of the Dolomites. They're, like, stunning. But you know what? I've decided I won't be going to the Dolomites without a partner, because I think that would be another level of sadness. Like, just being in Italy in the most stunning scenery. Yeah. I know myself, and I think that should just be unhealthy for me. So.
Well, we were talking about this the other day, just, like, the reality of being on a family trip when you're the only person without a partner.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
This one was hard for me. Yeah. And I had my last relationship for 4 years, so I was so used to it, and I wouldn't change it for the world to be with him just to have somebody on the vacation. Yeah. But yeah, it really does sometimes, like, make you question, like, what did I do wrong, or that I don't, not to get deep here, but, like, I wouldn't change my standards or anything like that, but sometimes you're like,
it's just like, why is it so different for me?
Why is it so different for me? And how lovely that everyone gets to experience this with their best friend. And that doesn't make it easy, and that doesn't make it stress-free, of course. Yeah. But it is a bummer to, like, not travel the world with someone.
I know. I was thinking about that when I was in Europe, because I just kept thinking, how fun would this be to do with your spouse? Like, not that I didn't appreciate it with my friend. Like, it was still so much fun. But it's just like I'm checking all these places off the list, and I'm going to have all these stories to tell my partner. And, like, I don't know. I just wish that I could be experiencing it with them.
Totally. I feel that.
Just like a little relatable moment if you guys feel that way too. You're not alone.
Yeah.
And no matter how glamorous the trip is, you know, it's not always everything that it seems.
No. Now, the scenery, it'll fill you up.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to do it with other people too.
Yeah.
But overall, it was great, and I can't wait for 2020. Probably 2027 at this point, which is, we won't even talk about 2027.
I'm sorry, why are you talking about 2027?
Because I think that'll be the next family trip, probably.
Oh, you're going to wait 2 years?
Yeah, it's usually like a year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, so. I see. Okay.
Surely by then I'll have a baby.
Yeah, surely.
Surely. Okay, let's talk about you after we just went through that huge itinerary.
No, that was so fun. I loved that. I have some updates on my reading list. I feel like it's been a while since I've updated you guys on my reading journey. You might remember it was my New Year's resolution, 1 book a month.
Yes, please.
I just finished The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. That's her newer book.
Oh, don't you do it now.
I won't.
If you guys haven't tuned in for any book talk between Maddie and I, Carly, me, gets very nervous about spoilers.
Yeah.
For even just what the books are about.
Yeah.
Especially when it's about Emily Henry. I hold that tight to our chest because we're obsessed with her.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
It was really good. It was different. I'm not going to give anything away, don't worry. But it was different in the sense that it was like a little mysterious.
Oh.
Not scary at all.
That's
but
so
like,
unlike her.
There was 2 plot lines, basically. Like, it was following like a romance plot line, but also like a little bit of a mystery kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. There were a few parts that were a little slow in the middle. And then the mystery part had a lot of names. So it was kind of confusing to keep up with.
Okay.
I'm sure if I was physically reading it, it would be easier.
Right.
But like listening to it, it was hard to keep track. But it was really good. I liked it a lot. I would give it a solid 4.2.
I'm proud of the decimals. Let's regulate the decimals.
I need to be more specific.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
that was good though.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I also finished Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez.
Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Hold on a second. Have I read that or is it new?
It's not new.
I love her books, but I've only read a few. So You'll Remember Me. I have not read that one.
It's just okay to me.
It was just okay.
It was a 3.5.
Oh.
It was and I'm trying to be harsher on my ratings as well.
It was just published April 1st.
Really?
Of 2025.
Oh.
Well 4.1 out of 5 on Goodreads.
Yeah. I didn't like it that much.
Okay,
I mean, it was good, but it was kind of anticlimactic. And like, there was just no...
Like, what's
no
the
twists,
word?
No turns. It was just like...
straightforward.
Yeah.
Predictable.
Yes.
Sometimes we want a healthy love.
And kind of unrealistic. I don't know if it's
never mind.
The point that I'm in right now, but I'm like, no one would ever do that.
Not helpful. Okay, noted. Won't be reading that anytime soon.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to start The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna.
Wait.
I know. I'm going to do it on audio.
No!
I need to because...
Maddie, I have the physical book.
But
I will borrow it to you. I will read it to you at night.
I have, like, I try and end my night reading, like, Christian books physically. So I have those by my bedside. But, like, throughout the day, I like to just listen to, you know, entertaining books.
This has to be the one exception.
No, really?
Yes.
I listen to The Woman.
The Women? No. Hold on a second. Hold on. Emily Henry. No, Kristen Hanna. Have you read The Great Alone yet?
No. But I heard a spoiler. I know the ending. Have you read that?
Well, sure I have.
Yeah, I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about it and
you remember
I didn't skip the spoiler. Yeah. I know the ending.
You think you'll forget it?
No.
Oh. I feel like sometimes when people say like the spoiler of Remember the Titans or The Longest Yard, because I haven't watched those movies, I like force myself to forget what they said and I do it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I let time pass.
I remember it. They talked kind of in depth about it and just how depressing it was.
It's unreal.
I just didn't want to read it after
Okay,
that.
then may I preserve the right for one paperback your whole life?
No, I want to read it.
It is big, so I understand. But it is also a very good nighttime read. If you ever want to change it up and have Jesus maybe be another time. We love you, Jesus. Okay, fine. There's no convincing. It's just Fine.
Yeah, speaking of
What?
Jesus books, this one girl recommended the book The Wait to me. Have you ever read that?
Is it about in your season of waiting, enjoy it?
Yeah.
Vomit.
Well, it's about like how to prepare yourself for marriage or whatever. Hold on. Let me look it up. Okay, yeah, it's called The Wait. It's by Devon Franklin and Megan Good. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
I never heard of them either, but apparently they're divorced now. And so the whole book is about like how they waited for marriage and like all these different ways and like all this preparation that they did. And then I found out that they were divorced, and just reading it, I got like one chapter in and I just felt so icky about it.
That's so
funny. But also because like I don't really want to be reading about like singleness and dating right now because I don't want it to like consume my life. Like I'd rather read about other things that like help me just as an individual, not like wanting to date. Yeah. But then, like, add on top, they got divorced. I was like, I don't think I could read it.
So ironic.
I know.
Yeah, that's
For that reason, it is 60% off on Amazon right now.
Wow, discount divorce.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
They were married for 9 years.
Oh, wow, they got over the 7-year itch. I wonder what happened.
I know. I'm sure
is there any tea online?
We'll have to.
Who
we'll
cheated?
Have to look it up. Not to gossip about them, but
wow, that's crazy.
I know. Anyways,
anywho. Speaking about tea, you guys were working our booties off on getting guests. You guys are going to die. Oh, I know. Footsie. You guys are going to die at our options. That's not the right word. At the guests we're talking to.
I know. And I posted on our stories and asked who you guys would want to see. So thank you to everyone who responded to that. We are taking those recommendations seriously.
So serious.
Yeah. So serious.
It's all we talk about. Honestly, it's so exciting. There's so much to come this summer. But, okay, you're a reading gal and you're going to read The Nightingale. Oh, it's fine. Yes. Have you started A Court of Thorn and Roses? No. Oh, I got you those on physically. That's too bad. Maybe I did that intentionally.
I brought them on my vacation in Florida, and I just didn't have any time to read.
Okay.
See, physical books, it takes me so long to actually pick it up.
This is the thing. Remember I said I would allow you to read it physically, and then if you're driving, you can pick up audio. I did that with that because I was like, I literally can't wait. But my sister-in-law, I bought her the first 1 or 2 books for Sarah J. Maas's 3rd series called Crescent City. And that's, I think about 18 books away from you. So you have 18 books. She's waiting for us to all read them together. So no pressure. No rush. 18 books away.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
I know. Throne of Glass, I think, is 11 books. So,
wow. But
it's fine. Okay, so how was life when I wasn't with you in Canada?
It was so sad. I cried every day.
I understand.
No, I'm actually so happy that we're both home though, because we've been traveling so much these last few months, like you especially, and I'm going to be home all July, like a whole month being home.
What?
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
And I've been home for half of June. So I'm just like, I love being home. I love being in a routine.
Feels so
you guys know in our 30th birthday episode, I talked about how my 30th is my year of hobbies. So I'm really taking that seriously now. I did a pottery class while you were gone.
Yes.
Which was so much fun. The spin wheel pottery. Oh my gosh. I loved it.
It looked so fun.
It's just like so fun to be creative and like mess up and learn a new skill and just have fun doing it. There was a bunch of people there, so we like made friends, and the teacher, she's such a cool person, and you could tell she has like stories to tell. I just like want to get to know her and her life.
Yeah.
And get good at it and I do need to chop my nails off though, because my nails were digging into the clay while it was spinning. I like couldn't. It was really hard for me to like actually make it because of my nails. But I went with my neighbor, and we loved it so much we signed up for like an 8-week thing.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Is it like consistent every single week?
Yeah, every Tuesday.
Do you make a new piece every single time?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you like learn different techniques and stuff.
So what did you make the first time?
Well, they were supposed to be like little vases, but they kind of turned out like little bowls. Like a little sauce bowl, perhaps. A guacamole bowl. They weren't great.
Guacamole bowl.
Yeah. But it was just so fun and wholesome. And I'm so excited about that. So stay tuned for my pottery journey.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I know.
I remember I did it in high school. It was a class called ceramics, and I would cry because it can be so frustrating.
Yeah, it can be frustrating.
Like, I'm not like Bob Ross that's like, happy mistakes. I'm like, no, I can't get it because it's so like wobbly and it's just, it's like a certain touch you have to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of technique.
It's awful.
And the girl who taught the class kind of like said everything at the beginning, and there was just so much information that by the time we got to that, we like forgot what we were supposed to be doing. I wish she kind of took us like step by step.
Like while your hands were
if we all did the first step and then she's like, okay, now do this. You know, that would have been more helpful. Maybe I could give her some feedback. But yeah, it was really fun. So I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, love. I can't wait. You got to report back every week.
I know.
On what you made.
Yeah, and I'm doing like videos on each of my hobbies that I'm picking up on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm going to make a little series of it. So I'm really excited about all that stuff.
Let's go. I feel like that's so inspiring too, especially like when we don't want our lives to, in our opinion, revolve around eating and drinking. Like, and I think that's so easy to do in cities. Like, Nashville definitely has some outdoor activities, don't get me wrong, but it's not a San Diego or like a Hawaii. So it's fun to like pick up new things or volunteer or, you know, things like that. Yeah. And so it's fun to find little things like that in little shops and also recommend them to people too.
Yeah, I know. And I also, we've did this in the past, but I'm starting to do it again with volunteer at a homeless shelter, like a local homeless shelter. And I don't know if I'm going to make a hobby video about that. I was thinking about it because it's like, I don't know if this is a hobby technically, volunteering, but it is something that you do in your spare time that you enjoy. Yeah. But oh my gosh, you guys, it's called Room at the Inn, and they have this cafe where we go and basically just like serve them coffee, because what Room at the Inn does is they have classes for these homeless people offered to them. So when they go to classes, they earn tickets to kind of motivate them to go and learn and like get new skills, and which will hopefully help them find jobs and have housing and stuff like that. So they earn tickets, and then they can redeem the tickets at the cafe, which is basically like they get served on, they get breakfast and donuts and coffee and all this stuff. So we go and we just like serve them all this stuff and talk to them. And it is life-changing. I love it so much. Like, I just yapped with these gals. Oh my gosh. This one girl, Quinn, she's the cutest old lady. Literally looking at her, you would never know that she was homeless. She had the cutest outfit on, like this little hat. And she's just so old, too, which just made me so sad. Like, she had to have been, like, 75. And it's, like, the fact that she doesn't have a bed to lay in, like, I mean, she's doing this like housing thing, so she technically does have a bed, but it's not an ideal situation at all. Yeah. But like, she's just so old and frail, and it just makes me so sad that she's not able to like live her life comfortably, you know? But she was just an icon, and we have so many stories to talk about. She was like telling me about her past marriages and stuff, so we have to debrief.
That's so funny.
And then there's this like man named Joel who just was so sweet, and something he said really just struck a chord with me, because I was like, oh, do you come to the cafe a lot? And he's like, I try, but it's expensive. I'm having to use a lot of my coupons on clothes because they have a store that you can go and buy clothes from. And he was like, I got evicted from my apartment and I had 60 shirts in there and all my clothes are gone. So I have to buy clothes. And it just like literally stabbed me in the gut, because I'm like, I have so many clothes. I have so many clothes. And like, these people don't have anything, and they're having to buy them with their tickets. And like, it just made me want to literally like put him in my car and take him shopping. I don't know if that's allowed to do there, but like, it was just so eye-opening, and like hearing from some of the people about their housing, and like just praying with them about like their need for housing and stuff. And it's like, I have a house, I have clothes, like I have literally everything I could need and so much more. And there's these sweet, amazing people who don't have anything and still they're so happy, they're so joyful, they love Jesus. Like, it's just so inspiring, and I am just so excited to like continue going there and just to get to know them and like hear all their stories. And like, they're just so sweet and appreciative. Like, I prayed with a couple of them, and like one of them, this lady Kim, she like started crying because she's like, no one ever like offers to do that for me. And like, just like being like just a little source of love and light for someone is so special. And I just, oh my gosh, I love it. So if you guys have like a local homeless shelter, you should see if there's an opportunity for you to volunteer and like talk with them, because it's just like when they say it's better to give than receive. It's
oh my gosh.
It just transforms me probably more than it did them,
totally.
you know, but it's amazing.
And even if, like, you can't take someone in your car and take them to a Goodwill or something like that, or shop, like, you're giving of your time, your resources, your words, like, your heart. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving so much already. And also, I'm sure we can find a way to donate. I know that there's donation opportunities. Yeah,
the ladies were saying how I can donate to their place. It's called The Mission, where they live. And so it made me also feel awful. I'm like, I just gave so many bags to Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I'm never giving to Goodwill again. Like, okay. I just didn't even think about, like, I've heard of, like, women's shelters and stuff like that, but I guess I just didn't realize the need for it.
There's don't know. There's going to be more opportunity. Yeah. Between you and I, we can ensure that we're giving at least quarterly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to try and give. I have so much, like, makeup and skincare and stuff. I know they don't really need all that stuff, but it's like, why not, you know? Yeah. Why not just give it to them?
I love that mission. It's so incredible. And, like, also with faith as the root of it, it's just, it's the coolest mission. There's so much work to be done and, like, so much opportunity, but they really are doing such a good job. And it is literally life-changing spending time there. It's so good. It's so good. I feel like the only thing I don't miss of that place is sometimes when I'm trying to talk to them, the music is so loud.
Yeah, if they have a band there.
Turn it down, and the reason that it's up high is because they're older. So it's like, you know, they want to provide free entertainment, which is so cool. Like, you're in Nashville and you're at a cafe and there's live country music and you're being served by people. Like, that is the ultimate experience. Yeah. And, like, they have the opportunity to do that through hard work and, like, discipline and whatnot, and it's just awesome. But, like, can you turn the music down? As I'm saying that as, like, the youngest person there, I'm like, please.
That's so funny.
Anywho, such a great highlight.
I know.
Honestly, awesome. So pure and wholesome of a highlight. Reading, pottery, and volunteering.
I'm an old woman. Honestly, at heart.
Maddie is 85 years old. So, and knitting also, don't forget. Do we have puzzles that we're doing? Okay, just kidding.
All right, one more quick note before we dive into these stories.
What?
We started a show together.
Yes.
And we wanted to tell you guys in case you wanted to watch it with us.
Show club.
Yeah, we're going to have a little TV show club. So we started We Were Liars on Amazon.
Yep.
It's based on a book, right?
It's based on a book.
Did you read the book?
I read the book.
Oh, you did?
Hated the book.
Oh, why?
Awful.
Just what do you mean?
Awful. Absolutely terrible. You know those books that are just awful and the show's great?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there yet with the show.
Uh-huh.
But at least the first half is true. The book was awful. I hated it.
Yeah.
Have I made that clear?
Yeah.
It was like one of those books where the writing is just brutal. It's not my favorite. Some people like it.
Okay.
It's just boring narration where nothing happens.
Huh.
And it's one of those, like, if you've ever read Apples Never Fall by Leanne Mority, it's like that. Like, literally, you're just reading about a family and nothing happens. Nothing. Like, it's just a bunch of rich people with rich problems and they're bickering back and forth. And that's it. There's no plot.
Well, it seems like the show has quite the plot.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. I would say it's a little bit more engaging so far.
Well,
we only watched one episode.
I don't know if that's going to make you guys want to watch it with us, but
it's like a teen drama, but
yeah, it reminded me of Summer I Turned Pretty, but like murder mystery.
Yes. There's like definitely an element of mystery happening.
Yeah, and you're like it was kind of spooky. I didn't think it would be, and I watched it last night, and I was like kind of scared.
Yeah, the book doesn't give that at all.
Oh,
it's just you're following this boring rich family that's just bickering, and there's a bunch of issues as they get older. Did someone
try to kill the girl? Because that seems like that's the main premise.
They're talking about amnesia for a lot of the book.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's one of those where the twist comes at the end.
Okay.
That's it. And it's just like, come on. It's like Frida McFadden. I'm like,
yeah.
Please.
You don't like those? See, I love Frida McFadden.
It's fine as long as the plot is engaging in the meantime. Yeah. Like Silent Patient. Have you read Silent Patient? I was engaged the whole time and then a big twist at the end. If it's just like boring story, like there's no plot, I don't want any of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So dramatic.
Well, we'll see how the show goes. I like it. Okay, so we're giving you a week warning now. So we're going to start it, and then next week we're going to recap the whole thing.
Binge, baby.
So we're going to binge the show. If you guys are looking for something to do, something to binge, watch it with us. I do have to say, though, the cousin's wig.
cousin's wig.
Yeah.
Which one?
The blonde girl cousin.
The main character or the
other one?
No,
the other one.
Oh, I don't remember.
Her hair
was it obviously
has
a wig?
to be a wig.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
The moms are so cringe also.
I know.
There's some bad acting for sure.
You think? Well, yeah. The girl from Vampire Diaries. She was
I never watched that. Which one was she?
She was the angry one. The one that...
Yeah, they're all just bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter and rich.
Yeah.
Did you recognize the grandpa?
No.
Okay, at first I thought it was Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh.
But he's the really bad guy in Disturbia. Did you ever watch Disturbia growing up?
Oh, yes. That was my favorite movie.
Yeah, that was like the scary movie on repeat in my household.
Yeah, why
or, like,
was
at
that
sleepovers.
so popular?
I don't know. It was so... You were so locked in with Shia LaBeouf of what was going on with the neighbor and the mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy just has the scariest face and the scariest like murder look. And I don't know if it's just because of Disturbia. Oh, bless you, Frankie. But I did do some research. He isn't a killer. He has a wife and 3 kids since 1987.
He looks like a killer, but he's not.
He has the face of a killer. And then did you recognize the boat taxi guy?
No.
The one that was, well, I won't spoil it. But yeah. But there's a boat taxi driver. It was Mutt from Schitt's Creek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
My mom's
There's a
obsessed
lot
with
of
him.
famous actors in this show.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's on Amazon. We Were Liars.
Amazon.
So we'll watch it.
Let's go. We'll talk to you about it next week.
Let's
we'll
do
debrief.
All right, you ready to get into these hometown scandals?
Yes, I'm so ready.
Do you? Oh, yours was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mine's Jeffrey Dahmer. What's yours?
Mine doesn't have anything crazy like that. There was a scandal at a neighboring high school where the principal had relations with a student.
Brutal. We're the principal of all.
The principal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he had I'm pretty sure he had a wife and kids.
Ew.
And they got caught when she was 18, but it was like it started when she was 17. And then they ended up getting married, I'm pretty sure. Him and the student. Like he left his wife for the student.
That's disgusting.
I know.
Like that is the one role we should, not one, there's many, but like for sure that role we should be in ultimate trust of. And
he was like the kind of guy that was so fun. Everyone loved him. He was like the fun
Was
principal.
he young?
I mean, not young enough. Probably in his 30s.
Ew.
Yeah.
All of my principals were so old.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. They're probably dead now. That's crazy. Honestly, we're probably the age that they were. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. But yeah, let's hop into the stories.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure. My first one is really small. Or really short. My first one. Our high school police officer embezzled thousands of dollars from the band booster club.
Not the band booster club.
That's so awful. I love that he's
band
I
raising money.
Also, I would love to know how these are found out. Like, when someone puts all the pieces together, like, our high school police officer, our DARE officer, has been stealing from the band.
Tragic.
It really is.
All right. My first one. My hometown is known for the Kristen Smart case. It was left unsolved, and we had a new sheriff come in and open it back up. Your Own Backyard podcast re-brought details back to the surface, and then they arrested a suspect, and they're trying to locate her body.
You're joking me. The podcast brought it back. See, this is the one beautiful thing of podcasts.
Yes.
Besides us. Crime podcasts, I mean. More ears hear about the crime and, like, could have clues or something.
Yeah. Podcasts literally solve murders.
And that's why we're here.
And that's our job. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But I looked into the Kristen Smart case because, have you ever heard of it?
It's not Elizabeth Smart.
No.
That one took my life by...
Who's that?
Elizabeth Smart took my life hostage my whole life. I am a changed woman because of Elizabeth Smart.
What happened to Elizabeth
She
Smart?
was the one that was in, thank you for asking, Utah, I think? Arizona? New Mexico? Dry mountains.
Okay.
There were workers on the house. This really, really, really rich family left a window open. He came into the sister's room, just took Elizabeth. It was him and his wife, which is crazy.
Wait, it was one of the workers or just a random person?
No, it was the workers. Put a knife to her sister's neck when they took Elizabeth out of bed and saying, like, don't say a word.
Wait, this is vaguely familiar.
This was on the news when we were kids for so long, looking for this girl.
Uh-huh.
And they ended up taking her, like, as a God thing. Like, God told them to take her. Kept her in the woods for, like, a month, and they would walk to and from the town to get, like, supplies.
Right.
And then someone recognized her because she had...
Yes, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, it's all coming back.
I think it was, like, a month she was gone for. A month-ish. And they, like, abused her in the woods.
Oh, my gosh.
That story took I like always thought about it as a kid. It just always stuck with me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That brings back memories. That was a life-changing thing.
How do you... She's married now, I think, with kids. I know she's married at least. How do you get over that trauma? Hello?
I don't know. It's just a miracle that they found her.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, well, I looked into the Kristen Smart case.
Sorry, back to Kristen.
Just a few notes. It says... It happened in May 1996. She was at Cal Poly, which is in California, and she was at a party, and at 2 a.m. she was found passed out on a neighbor's lawn, and 2 kids tried to help her back up to her dorm room. And then there was someone named Paul Flores who joined the group and basically told the other kids that he'd get her home safe and, like, he'd take care of it. She disappeared, was never seen again, and then her body was never discovered, but an earring that might have belonged to her was found by a tenant at the former residence of Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Of his mom. So Paul's mom's house, her earring was there.
How did they even find that also?
I know.
Just say it's the mom's earring.
But the earring was not marked as evidence because it was lost by the police.
Classic.
Tragic.
Idiots.
And then from 1996 to 2007, there was a bunch of searches and stuff. There was nothing found, though, for like 20 years almost. And then in 2021, which was when this new cop came back, they had this like new ground penetrating radar and cadaver dogs, and they found evidence of her body. Not her actual body, but they found evidence that the body was buried underneath the deck of the Flores' home.
They didn't have anything before that would have shown there was a body under there? Or like dogs? Dogs have existed for a long time.
Yeah, they used dogs way back when, but they didn't find anything.
Got it.
But the new like radar and stuff said that her body was there at some point, but it wasn't there anymore.
Oh,
so they still don't have the body.
Oh, shoot.
But that was in 2021. And then Flores and his father were arrested and taken into custody in April 2021. And they found numerous items of interest. And he was found guilty for her murder in October 2022.
Wow, so he lived free for like 20-some years.
Yeah, he almost got away with it.
Also, how do you not dispose literally of everything and like change your name and like you have a long time to flee and to do things and to change your life and to like get rid of evidence.
Yeah.
A long time.
But it's so twisted because obviously his parents helped.
Yeah.
You know? Like the earring was in the mom's room. The body was in the backyard of the parents' house.
Yeah, yes, 100% they're involved. And if the dad got arrested, he's obviously linked.
Yeah. The dad was arrested for accessory after the fact.
Yeah, as he should be. Yeah. You idiot. Mm-hmm. It's like the Gabby Petito case.
Yeah.
Brian's parents helped 100%.
That's crazy.
Like her letter with the disappearing ink or whatever said, "I will help you bury any body." It's like, what? I understand I don't understand, but I can imagine the level of protection a parent wants to give their kid. But like, if they're doing things that are completely immoral and removing people's lives from planet Earth, you better believe I will not be burying bodies for you.
It's like that show that we watched, The Adolescents. It's like he was just so heartbroken that his son committed murder.
You guys, if you haven't watched Adolescents, that's a binge one.
But it's like, honestly, the most loving thing you can do for your child is to get them the help that they need.
Totally.
And prevent them from doing this to anyone else's children. Like, you have to be sick.
No, I think they're twisted.
Cover that up.
Yeah, I think they're twisted. It's probably genetic.
Yeah,
little wires twisted.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one. My sophomore year, a new softball coach was hired. Throughout the year, he became well known for being really hard on his players and his students. Because I played different sports throughout the year, I didn't have the opportunity to meet him until softball season started, and let's just say I got a weird feeling about this man from the beginning.
Ugh. Like I hate when there's male coaches for female teams.
Also, you just know in your sensey squirrely stomach, like, what's going on. Like everyone had said, he was tough. His workouts were made to demolish you. He always made you feel like you didn't do enough and deserved to feel defeated, and always had a smart comment to say to you.
A power trip.
Yeah, pause. It's our age people that are being hired right now. Imagine a man we know being hired as a high school softball coach.
No, it's weird.
They are making high school girls work out to the death and like embarrass them and make fun of them. That is okay, but when we're high schoolers, they're much older, right? Like it's like you respect like
they're
them,
much older,
and they have their life together. It's like it is also very twisted and something deep happening, and they need to go to therapy and not be at a school. Like, I'm not saying the people that make hard workouts tough and like embarrass girls or guys at high school have to go to therapy. That's not what I'm saying. But like, it's certainly not a recipe for something good happening.
No.
Okay. As the season went on, I and some girls on the team noticed another player on the team acting suspiciously nice, almost flirtatious with this coach, which was unusual considering she was the bully of the group. Isn't it always fun seeing the bullies like just light up and be lovey-dovey? Ugh. I always told myself they got along so well because they're both mean and very negative people. It started getting weird when he was taking her places in his truck when no one else, with no one else after practice and games. He always chose her when he needed demonstrations, and he would always be picking on her when she was around.
Ew.
We were all very aware of what was happening, but I think we were all in denial about there being an actual student-teacher relationship right in front of our eyes. Anyways, one day, the coach rubbed a parent the wrong way, and they had blown their cover. They ended up confessing to having an inappropriate relationship.
One of the parents?
Yeah, and the coach gets arrested on campus. Turns out the next
for having a relationship with a parent? Why would he get arrested for that?
No, he rubbed a parent the wrong way, and the confession came out.
Who is he having a relationship with? The kid?
The student, yeah.
But so how did that come out? Because he rubbed a parent
I think maybe they got into an argument or something.
Oh, weird.
I don't know how it came up, but maybe it just bubbled over. They ended up confessing, and the coach got arrested. Turns out the next day, the girl's parents bailed the coach out of jail.
I'm so sorry.
She signs herself out of school during lunch, and they go and have a courthouse wedding. Let's just say we were all stunned and grossed out about the whole situation. I've never seen her since then, but I did see him 5 years ago at a mall working at a sunglasses kiosk. Brutal.
I'm sorry. The parents get him arrested for being with the daughter. Then they bail him out the next day, and then they sign the girl out, their daughter, out of school to go get married to this man. Was she pregnant?
Spoiler alert. We found out later she was pregnant when everything came out. Oh. So that's probably why they ended up getting married.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Love you too. But I think it was other parents that got him arrested, not her parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How crazy. My parents would never.
No.
Well, first they'd kill me. Second, they'd kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they would ever say, okay, now go get married to this pedophile.
I'll take you there. Like, you can't even drive yourself. I know. Crazy.
That's brutal.
Crazy.
Wow. That is quite the scandal.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one. So, not proud of this, but in my very small hometown, there was a string of vandalism where businesses were finding ... butt imprints on their windows. No joke. The vandal was smearing Vaseline on his butt and then going around and imprinting windows.
For what?
This went on for some time, and he became known as the butt bandit.
Stop.
He was eventually caught and apprehended, and our town went back to being as boring as ever.
Stop. He was just adding some life to the city. We need some entertainment around here, something to talk about.
Honestly, what harm is
What else do you talk about when you're drinking your coffee besides the butt bandit? Oh, poor guy. What's he up to these days?
That is so funny.
Do we know him? Did you know him?
Yeah, did you know him? We need to know.
Well,
did he give butt bandit vibes?
Yeah. Did you always know something was fishy or smelly about him?
But it's just like,
who cares? Also,
there's no harm.
There's no harm. He's
really
bored.
You just wipe off the windows, have a little laugh.
Yeah, it's
How
a butt.
did they catch him? They're like, "Come on, measure up. Does the shoe fit?
Yeah,
put your butt against the windows."
I mean, we always had like the butt bandits. Remember, people would photocopy their butt. They would sit on the printer at school. Like, everyone has a butt bandit. Please let them live. They're just
so funny.
They might not have a pottery class in their town.
Did you ever make butt butterflies in the shower as a kid?
What? Hold on a second.
Like, you know how the shower door steams up? And then you, like, press your butt on it?
Yeah.
And it's, like, the two butt cheeks, and then you do little, like, antennas, like kind of butterfly?
No. Not part of the Hubert household, unfortunately.
I challenge you to do that in your next shower.
That's crazy.
It's fun.
I'm going to assume you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still do sometimes.
Sometimes when I'm feeling frisky, I'll make a butt butterfly.
Fun.
Yeah. It adds a little life to the shower.
Like drawing on the shower. Do you ever draw on the shower door?
I used to.
Yeah, it's fun.
Still an active hobby of Maddie's. I love that. I always thought the squeegee was very satisfying. Okay, I'll actually do like a fun, lighthearted one like yours. Okay. It's actually, I think it was really hard on the town, but this one's called The Great Muffin Debacle. I live in a small town, and years ago I worked at the only gym in town. In addition to being a fitness center, we also sold protein shakes and various supplements. But the hot commodity throughout this gym was the protein muffins. They were huge, they were so good, and they didn't even taste like your typical protein processed snack. The first Monday of the month was Muffin Monday. 20% off your order for a dozen.
Wow.
I know, big deal, big savings. The weekend before Muffin Monday, I would spend hours filling these muffin orders because they would come in so fast. I was allowed to pack the orders, but the muffins always had to come through the back door and we couldn't look at them. Long story short, the owner of the gym was going to Sam's Club in another city and buying bulk muffins. Scandal. Not protein muffins, just plain Jane muffins, and then he would wrap them individually like they were homemade, like in the saran wrap.
You're kidding.
She got busted by some fellow gym members. It might not sound like a huge scandal to most, but the local newspaper got involved.
Oh.
The gym owner ended up selling the gym and moving hours away because this is something that people still talk about almost a decade later.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you take someone's trust with their muffins.
Well, if you're saying that it's a protein muffin, and these are people that are working out, thinking that they're eating something healthy, trying to lose weight, and you're just feeding them Sam's Club muffins, that's criminal.
Take them away.
I would move away too. I understand. That's so embarrassing. Yeah, like the fact that you just did that and thought you could got away with
nobody's
it.
Going to trust you in that town
No.
anymore. Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh.
The muffin debacle.
The muffin man.
Yeah.
The muffin woman.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one. She said, I had so many hometown scandals. The man who killed Martin Luther King Jr. was from my hometown, which was very sad.
Whoa.
Just last year, a man killed his wife. They were in the midst of a long divorce and had 2 kids. It was all over the national news because he was on Family Feud a few years back.
I've seen that clip.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Steve Harvey asked, what's the one thing you regret in marriage? And he said, saying I do or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it runs, or it like the clip changes to the murder.
Yeah.
He killed her. Sorry.
I've never even seen that before.
Oh,
that's crazy. Was
awful.
it huge? Was that all over?
The news? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But they were amidst a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, come on.
Yeah,
Why? They were living separately at the time, and he went and killed her at the house.
He just went over and killed her?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Brutal. Well, yeah, he's from her hometown. She said he's now in prison, which is good.
Yep.
And then she said, I also went to a school with a girl whose dad was convicted of killing his wife when we were kids. He served time and then got acquitted during a retrial a few years back. He ended up suing the city for wrongful conviction for $2 million. He's now a defense attorney and works to help those he believes are wrongfully convicted.
Wow.
However, most of the town still thinks he's guilty. Even his daughter, who is not allowed contact with her younger siblings because he doesn't want them to know what she knows. His ex-wife, who he married after his first wife died, also thinks he's guilty.
Wait. What?
Yeah, she said both of these murders have Dateline episodes.
And he's a defense lawyer now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you made $2 million.
Yeah, if you sue for wrongful conviction and then you are doing the greater good and being a defense attorney to help people that have been wrongfully convicted, like Kim Kardashian, that's crazy. And if you actually did it.
Yeah, if he actually did it, that is a bold move. But I feel like to sue for wrongful conviction and win, you have to have a pretty strong case that
honestly,
you didn't
though,
do it.
The corrupt courts and the corrupt judges.
So true. What you need to be convicted is crazy.
Have you followed the Karen Reed trial?
No.
I don't have time to get into it. It's so long, but the wrongful conviction and the corruption of the cops that caused the wrongful conviction.
She was the one that the cops were trying to frame her, that she ran into her, ran over her
husband. I think the people that did it
were the cops.
No. The people that did it were the ones testifying against Karen Reed.
Yeah.
And the cops were covering up for those people.
But weren't they cops? Wasn't it like
one of them was?
Oh, okay.
One of them was. But the guy that was killed was also a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so messed up. And now I'm like, well, when's it going to turn on them? Like, when are they going to be called and pressed for charges?
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like when there's cops involved, there's so many layers of corruption that, like, who knows if they'll ever be caught, even if it's known that they did it, you know?
It's so wrong. It's inherently awful. And, like, thank God we have a God who sees everything and judges. But, like, they deserve to have consequences, even if they weren't the ones that killed, but had some level of effect on the outcome of the trial. Like, that is so... The Karen Reed case was... I was watching it real time. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I think, though, even though they do deserve to be in jail, what they did, I feel like has to haunt them day and night.
Totally. Like
that makes me think this guy, he's like trying to overcompensate by being a defense attorney for people who are wrongfully convicted because he's trying to justify maybe what he did or something like that. But everyone that's close to him that thinks he did it, that's crazy. We need to watch the Dateline episode.
Yeah, we should. We should find that.
Yeah.
I would love to. I love true crime stuff. I really haven't done a good amount in a while.
I know, me either.
Okay, this one is a two-parter. First, Kevin Costner went to high school in my hometown for a year or two back in the day.
Nice. That's my mom's celebrity crush.
Oh my gosh. Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Kevin Bacon. He scares the living crap out of me.
Ew.
Kevin Costner's cute. Also, the Golden State Killer hung out around here for a while, too, when he was in his crime prime. Do you know who the Golden State Killer is? What? You haven't heard of the Golden State Killer?
I don't know. Maybe. What did he do?
You're like, tell me about him.
Kill people?
Yes. Okay. The Golden State Killer has killed, I think, at least 13 people and was in his prime from 1974 to 1986. And they could not catch this man that was killing people left and right. And he would go throughout California, why he's called the Golden State Killer, and break into them and kill them.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you didn't know, which sometimes it was different what he did. But in 2018, he was caught and arrested at age 72.
Oh
and he was a cop. And he pleaded guilty in 2020. And yeah, kids,
Wait,
wife.
was he the one that just came out in that interview and was like saying like why he did it?
Yes.
And everyone's like, why now?
Yes.
And it's because he's at the end of his life.
It took them so long to find him, but he was on a killing spree of women. And he had some prime time in this submissions city.
Jeez.
That's scary. Everyone's like on edge, like not knowing who it is.
I feel like the 60s through the 90s were like the serial killer age, you know? It was like it became a thing and it was so hard to track them down. I think they're less popular now because how
technology.
Yeah, like it's so much easier to get caught. But back then they didn't have any of that. So it's crazy that people are still getting caught and like these cases are open. I think being a detective on a case like that would be so
It would have been so fun to watch how people solved those kinds of crimes without technology. Like without CCTV, without like I'm sure you could run plates back then, but like in the 60s you probably couldn't. When did a computer get invented? 90s?
I think so. Or maybe the 80s.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Windows 95. What's up? It's my childhood.
The Zodiac Killer was in my town, but not like in my town, but it was in the area. It was in like Southern California, like the Inland Empire. That's when my dad got a gun.
That's my guy.
Like back in the day, because he was living alone and he was scared. He was literally scared that the Zodiac
just a
Killer.
Brit alone.
But like, imagine in your area there's a serial killer on the loose.
You don't know when they're gonna attack. Strike. Thank you.
No, that would be terrifying.
It was like when the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
And like the whole town was just on edge because they didn't know where they fled. And they knew it was like this one neighborhood from where he got out in the car. And everyone was like, stay in your house. Do not open the door. And there were helicopters and dogs everywhere. And he ended up being in the boat in someone's backyard. Just like, you don't know where they are.
Terrifying.
Or like when that prison break happened from that submission.
Yeah.
You're like, we don't know where they are.
There was a prison break in Alabama recently.
Good.
Like 7 or 8 people escaped.
Gosh.
I know.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. They caught a couple of them.
That was your greatest joy, I'm sure. You're like, my favorite TV show is coming to life.
I know. Prison Break.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. About 20 years ago, a lady disappeared in the next town over. Her ex-husband was a prime suspect, and while they were investigating him, he came to a few of our family holiday gatherings because he knew my uncle.
Gosh.
We all got creepy vibes from him, and my mom and I would give each other that mother-daughter no words needed look because our spidey sense said he's guilty. He's in prison now, and they eventually found her remains 10 years later. It was such a twisted story.
Where?
It made Dateline.
No. The people I'm most scared of are the people you don't know are killers. Like, you don't get the spidey senses.
Yeah.
The people that you get spidey senses from, you're like, something's off. This is creepy. I could see him killing his wife. That kind of vibe. It's the ones where you're like
Ted Bundy.
Yes. Where you're like, oh, I don't trust myself anymore.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea.
I feel like more times than not, you get the vibe eventually. Yeah. And like the Ted Bundy people, the one girl that survived, I think, she said that like she got creepy vibes from him. It's like not at first, but once you like start talking to him.
Yeah, you can't hide murder instincts.
No.
You really can't. If you want to kill us, we'll know.
Yeah.
And I'll kill you first.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Maddie said, yeah.
I was just thinking about.
Yeah, I will.
was it in the Ted Bundy documentary? There was this story, or was it a submission? I can't remember, but it was like someone's mom went on a date with Ted Bundy and like got creepy vibes and...
Oh my
no.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, this was a submission. It's all coming back to me. Why didn't you submit for this? This was a great story. She said that her mom went out for like a girls' night out and Ted Bundy was there and he started flirting with her and like wanted to take her home. And
we've never talked about this on the podcast.
No, but this was a submission way back when. Like when I first started Tuesday Tea on my stories.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, her mom went out with the girls and they were having a night out and they agreed like no boys. And then Ted Bundy was there and he started flirting with her mom, like who was young and single back in the day, flirting with her at the bar. And then he wanted to take her home and she wanted to, but the friends were like, no, we're having a girls' night, like no guys. So they said no. And then it came out like shortly after that he was caught for everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She would have been the last victim.
She literally could have been a victim because he wanted to take her home. Isn't that crazy?
And they didn't even say no because they had weird spidey senses. It was because the girls packed of no boys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
I know.
That's Midnight Library type stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy crap. All right. My last two are just brutal. So
okay,
none of these are good things to be known for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hey, my hometown...
We did ask for hometown scandals.
We did, I guess. Mine is known for Summerfest, biggest music festival in America. What? Actually, it probably isn't anymore.
It's not bigger than Coachella.
It was growing up. Probably should check the stats on that.
Not Wisconsin.
I know, right? Just so random. Okay, this one might sound familiar. Okay, this is where my boyfriend's family grew up in South Carolina, and the story is absolutely crazy and still going on to this day. Little disclaimer, there's a lot of details to the story, and it's very hard to explain, but she's going to give it her best shot. So it started with a boating accident where the son of this famous lawyer in the area was driving this boat drunk, and he crashed it into a bridge, resulting in the death of one of the passengers. This started a fast downward spiral for the family. The son was, of course, having to go to court for this, but he was also getting out of some of the things that happened due to his dad being a lawyer. Hashtag corruption. That's crazy that someone can bypass consequences because of who their dad is or mom, or even the amount of money they have.
The loopholes.
Like, I'm so sorry. That's crazy. Anywho, I should mention that the grandfather was also a lawyer and was in this family practice. One day, someone came home and the housekeeper was found dead in this house. I'm pretty sure she was found on the front steps inside the home, and the theory was that the dogs pulled her down. Later, the lawyer's wife and son, not the one in the boating accident, were found dead by the dog kennels on another part of the property. I'm sure if you guys know what story this is, it's all coming back to you. And I've seen the footage of this stuff because I am morbid and crazy. Did you see the footage of this?
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, gosh, it's awful. The lawyer's dad called in these murders in somewhat of a panic, but not as much as what you'd expect if you just found your wife and one of your sons dead. Well, of course, there was an investigation, a very long one, and a voicemail or call was found implicating him, I believe. It should be noted that the lawyer dad was embezzling money from his clients. Companies like Walmart weren't even coming to this town to place a store there because the family owned everything in this town, and they knew how corrupt they were.
Jeez.
I know. Also, on top of this, during one of the trials, it came out that something happened with the older son where he might have been involved in a drive-by murder, but it was never confirmed. Anyways, love you both in your podcast. If you want to look up this story, it was huge. It's called The Murdaugh Family Murders. A great resource for this was the Murdaugh Murders podcast with Maddie. I watched the documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and then I went deep into the dark webs of the footage. It was crazy.
What do you mean the footage? Like the cop camera?
Yeah, body cam footage. Because their brains were blown out. And I was like, sorry, spoiler alert, even though the cops haven't heard this, it was definitely the dad that killed them. 100%.
Well, yeah, for sure. Has he been arrested?
No, I don't think so.
Seriously?
Yeah, and like if you watch the documentary, he was like, quote unquote, visiting his mom in hospice that was down the road, but he had changed his shirt. You know, there's all these things. It's like, it's obviously the dad. I don't know how he's not dead or in prison yet.
It's because he's so corrupt.
But like, come on. You just killed your housekeeper, your son, your wife. There's one son remaining, and he was at these trials.
And he was the one that...
Actually, he might be arrested. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, he's been arrested. Oh, yeah, he's in prison.
And
he's
convicted. In prison
convicted
for drunk driving the boat? Or
no, the dad is in prison. I'm sorry, you guys.
For the murder?
Yeah, for the murders of his son and his wife. And financial crimes. But the son is not in prison.
But he was the one who killed the girl on accident.
Yeah, but that trial was already done.
Imagine having to live like that, knowing, first of all, you caused the death of someone accidentally.
Yeah.
Which is a whole level of guilt that I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
And then your dad killed your mom and your brother.
Yeah.
Why didn't he kill him?
I don't know. He was at college at the time. Yeah.
Maybe he was going to kill him if he got away with...
Like... As the wife, do you see tendencies of murder in husbands?
I'm sure. I mean, they
like
all have to
behavior?
Be so twisted and dark. Just because you have money and power does not mean that you're happy. Like, they had everything that they could have possibly wanted.
Huge
monetarily,
property.
you know? And obviously they did not have happiness. They did not have love.
Mm-hmm.
They were very twisted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm glad he's in jail.
Me too. Rest in prison, Alex Murdaugh.
Yeah, I do want to watch that. I remember you gave me the rundown of it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, it's really good. I didn't remember he got indicted, so I'm glad he is.
Okay, in my hometown, what started as a simple science demo turned into an actual disaster movie in real life. A science teacher was pouring chemicals into a metal tin, which was meant to make a cool reaction.
Oh, dear.
Except it went completely sideways. Whatever chemicals they used reacted way too hard, and the tin literally exploded, like actual explosion. Metal flew everywhere. The preschool kids in the front rows got hit with whatever was in the tin, liquid bits of metal. It was a mess.
Oh my gosh.
Teachers were freaking out. Kids were screaming. People were running in every direction. It was full-on chaos. They had to escort some of the little ones out to rinse their eyes, and the poor science teacher looked like he was about to pass out. Ambulances came not long after, and the whole school got shut down for the day. And of course, the story made news, like headlines saying the school blew up. Total drama. The teacher ended up losing his job over it. Wildest assembly ever, hands down. P.S. Love you guys.
Hi, I love you. But that's so sad. Like, you never know what's going to happen with a chemical reaction.
I know.
And I hope, first of all, I hope all the injuries are okay and there's no, like, long-term damage to faces or eyes.
Yeah.
But that poor guy.
I know.
Can you imagine the, like, grief of, like, the pain you've caused people?
Yeah, just the guilt.
Just from, like, an experiment?
Mm-hmm. And it was meant to teach and be a cool thing, and then it just totally took a wrong turn.
Unless, of course, he was doing it intentionally and trying to kill.
I don't think so.
Unless, of course. Okay, my last one. Let's wrap this up with a banger, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. I went to a small Christian high school in Memphis, Tennessee, and as it turns out, years before I attended, Dr. Death also graduated from my same school.
Dr. Death?
Dr. Death. Not sure if you've ever listened to the podcast about it or not, but it's truly disturbing how he became a surgeon, completely botched people, killed people, and ruined their lives. He's a sociopathic surgeon that has butchered spines for years. What? And I pulled some stats from Dr. Death. He doesn't have a podcast, but there is a podcast about him, and I think also a show. Out of 38 surgeries, 33 patients were maimed, paralyzed, or died. He left people with severed nerves, spinal cord damage, and metal implanted in their muscle.
Oh my gosh.
One patient woke up unable to move her legs, and another bled to death after a routine procedure. He even operated while high on cocaine and alcohol. And, like, at first, that's what, like, got the doctors, like, conspiring and talking about it. But so many other doctors overlooked it because they knew he was high or drunk.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even, like, that was the biggest concern. It was all the death and all the, you know, like, manipulations he was doing to people.
Yeah.
But 2 whistleblower doctors finally stopped him. And he's now in prison for life.
Jeez. I'm glad that they got him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That made me think of the show Bad Surgeon, Love Under the Knife. Have you ever heard of that?
God, that does not sound appetizing.
Let me see if I can. Okay, his name was Dr. Paolo Macchiarini. And he had this, like, stem cell infused windpipe transplant. I don't remember why people needed it, but it was basically, like, a thing for their windpipe. And I think it was elective for some people to get. I don't remember why people would want to get it. But he basically invented it. And it was, like, this huge thing because it was, like, never been done with stem cells before.
I'm scared.
It was never approved by anything. It literally never passed tests. It was just, like, a failure of a product, but I don't know if it was his ego or if it was like him literally wanting to just hurt people and kill people.
Oh gosh.
And he got all of this funding from all these major medical companies for this thing, and everyone who did it died. And they got like it wasn't like a quick death. It was like a slow, painful death. Like they would get infections, they wouldn't be able to breathe, they'd be suffocating.
Why?
There was this young girl who got it done. And it's just like all the families are like so mad because it was so unnecessary and he just lied about everything.
So for these people, do you become a doctor to kill people? Is that your motivation?
For some people, yeah, I think.
Is that his motivation or did he just do an awful job?
I don't know. I think it was more like narcissism, like just wanting to be someone that created this revolutionary product.
So he didn't do it, you don't think, to kill people?
No, but I think he knew that it wasn't what he said it was when he was doing it. Like he was definitely dishonest. And when all the people, when they were like literally dying from these infections and stuff, like he didn't do anything about it. And he was like cheating on his wife. It's this whole scandal. He ended up marrying this lady who was the mother of a kid that like he saved in surgery. Because he did have like good surgeries too.
He had some successful stories.
And so he was like cheating on his wife, living all these double lives. And basically because the funding for this product was from all these different like huge medical corporations, he didn't end up going to jail, I don't think.
Good.
He received a suspended sentence on June 16, 2022, and in 2023 his sentence was increased to 2 years and 6 months.
You're kidding me.
That's it. Isn't that crazy?
So even if you aren't intentionally killing people, first of all, you are, but second of all, you're possibly lying about the thing you invented, which I feel like in the medical world should be enough to go to prison.
Oh, yeah. It's abusing your license and the practice.
Yeah. Do we need to become lawyers? What's going on?
No, I don't want to know. I'd prefer to live in my blissful ignorance. I do not want to know.
It's
about
so
all this
dark.
Corruption. I like to believe that when I go to the doctor, I can trust them.
Seriously.
But honestly, all this stuff just really tells you have to advocate for yourself and ask questions and don't just believe what they say. Like, you really have to press and just be that annoying person.
Yeah. Review your medical bills.
Yeah.
Itemized list. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. To Europe we come.
Yeah. Well,
no murders there.
Nothing's wrong in Europe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun.
This was a good one.
I know. This was juicy. I feel like we should do another one. I still have some extras, but this is a long one.
The hometown scandal episode. Who knew?
Know. Maybe we'll do a part 2.
There's always things that happen.
I know.
It's always death, typically, that'll get you.
I know. It is a little dark, but it's so interesting.
It really is. Maybe we can do a part 2 for Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.